Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she's suddenly too busy to see me. Now what? So this particular email is from a viewer. He's new to my work, and he's been seeing a girl for about 3 months. He says they became exclusive around month 2, and it was his idea. Keep in mind, he's new to my work. And so what's happened is that recently he tried to set a date, and now all of a sudden she's too busy to see him. And when he asked her to be his girlfriend, she said no. And this is a common mistake with most guys that don't know any better. Because if you think about, what do you typically see in movies and TV? Got to put a ring on her finger, got to lock her down, somebody else is going to come steal her unless you make her yours first. But when you do that in real life, when you go out of your way, because when you ask most women, what do you do if a girl you really like just seems to be kind of confusing in her behavior? What do most women say? Oh, tell her how you really feel. Tell her how much you really like her. Let her know you care. And then you do that, and then you get, oh, I'm confused. I'm not ready to be in a relationship yet. You hear those kinds of things. And so this guy was going faster than this particular girl was. And usually, most of us guys that behave this way are doing it out of neediness and insecurity. Because deep down, we fear that we're not going to be loved. And because we fear that we won't be loved, we try to force things. We call too much. We text too much. We try to spend too much time with the person before they're ready. We try to push them into a relationship before they're ready. We only pay attention to our feelings, and we don't even notice the fact that she's not feeling it. And so he's tried twice now to get together with this girl, and she's just too busy. Now he's like, what do I do? So it's a really good email because you can see how the pendulum swings back the other way when you pursue too much, and now she's all of a sudden too busy to even see you, and you try on multiple occasions to set dates, and she won't see you. Again, this is what I went through in my book, and it's learning to find the sweet spot between pursuing too much, which is definitely what this guy's been doing, and pursuing not enough. And so what do you do when you've pursued too much? Like, what happens when you back off? Because the quickest way to get somebody else's attention, as the book says, is what? To remove yours. So as he's starting to remove his attention and back off and give her a week, he reached out, tried to set a date. She's still too busy. And for a guy who was trying to make this girl his girlfriend, and now all of a sudden she can't make time to see him, that's going to put you in a very fearful state, and it doesn't feel good. This is the kind of thing that takes you away from your work and your purpose and your mission in life, because now you're obsessing over this girl that you thought was going to become your girlfriend, and now all of a sudden she's too busy to see you. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi, Corey. I will keep this short and sweet. I've been searching for answers about my situation on YouTube, but I can't find any." Got to read the book, dude. You can't cherry pick in videos. I can tell you, that's already what you're doing. You got to read the book 10 to 15 times. You got to learn the baseline fundamentals. You have to let women come to you at their pace. And what you're trying to do is force things to happen. You're trying to force yourself into her life instead of letting her come to you. Because when you force yourself into her life, she feels smothered. She feels like she's losing her freedom, and she's going to want space. And then they come up with excuses like, oh, I'm too busy. I got schoolwork. I got this. I got that. And in reality, women know that time and space away from you oftentimes will cause their feelings to return. And so what's happened when they feel smothered is they've lost attraction. They know you're a great guy. You may look great on paper, but women don't care about how great you look on paper. They only care about how they feel about you. And in this particular case, she's not feeling it. She's not feeling like she wants to see you. So what does she do? She stalls. She tries to buy time. She doesn't want to blow things up because things have been nice in the past. Her feelings have been stronger in the past. And she's hopeful with a little time away from you that her feelings will return. However, if you don't give her space and you're smothering her, and you're interface too much, you're going to get her to the point where she doesn't feel any attraction and her feelings are mostly platonic, and then you end up getting friend zoned. So it's super important when you recognize, especially when a woman's too busy to see you, because if they like you, they make time for you. If their attraction is low, they got excuses. And so what's going on now is she's throwing roadblocks in the way of him trying to see her, whereas before she was pretty excited to hang out, have fun, hook up. Now all of a sudden she can't find time in her schedule. And so she's just trying to buy time to see if her feelings return, and you have to give her that space because she's not ready to blow things up and end it for good. She just knows her feelings have changed, and most women typically, they don't understand why. But they do know that they need space. And that's what you see. She's taking space. She didn't tell you she needed space. She's taking space. And so the more you try to force her, because a lot of guys go, what's wrong? Things are going so well. Let's talk about it. Or they're like, I got to confront her. She needs to see me and spend time with me. It's bad, bad, bad way to go. He said, I've been seeing this girl for around 3 months, and we became exclusive around month 2. Everything was going well. We were seeing each other once, sometimes twice a week. However, the past 3 weeks, she's been saying she's busy or making excuses as to why she can't see me. Well, if you take a step back and you look at that, and what is the bottom line? She doesn't want to see you. If she really likes you and she misses you terribly, she'll make time in her schedule. But if she won't, it's because her feelings and her attraction are low. He says, before this had begun, we already planned a trip together for a night away. And in the hotel room, I made the dreaded mistake of asking her to be my girlfriend. And as you can probably guess, she said no. Yeah, so in that moment, what you really communicated to her was that you were way more into her than she was into you. She wasn't feeling that she wanted to be in a relationship, and you're already there. And that's the kind of thing that's going to make most women back up and take a step back. They'll become less available. They won't be able to have time in their schedule for you. In this case, you'll be busy, or she'll be busy. And all it is, she's just stalling to see if her feelings return. Because she's not at the point where she wants to end things, but she knows her feelings are going in the wrong direction. I realize now I was being too needy and was very much in my feminine. So you were acting like a girl. If you acted like a girl, you ruin the sexual polarity. And women are attracted to masculine, confident men, not insecure little girls. So when you act like an insecure little girl, of course she's going to lose attraction for you. We're attracted to the polar opposites in the other person. The same is true in gay and lesbian relationships. You got to have this strong sexual polarity. Otherwise, the feelings towards one another are more in the lines of being platonic feelings. And obviously, guys are not interested in platonic romance. They want to bump uglies. He says, she says she really likes me and wants to continue seeing me. So like I was saying earlier, she's not ready to blow it up, but she also knows that something doesn't feel right. And most women can't put their finger on it. They just know that your behavior is not turning them on. It's not attracting them. And so they naturally want space so they can be present with their feelings and see what happens. And so when you don't call and you don't text and you just give them the space, then they start to miss you. But if you're constantly texting and trying to cajole them or manipulate them or push them to want to spend time with you, all that's going to do is make them want to flee from you even more. She says she really likes me and wants to continue seeing me, but getting into a relationship would be too big of a jump too soon. So you're going way faster than she was. And as I say all the time, guys have to go slightly slower than the woman does. This is what winds her up to the point where she's grabbing you and pulling your clothes off and wanting you inside her and things of that nature. And most guys never get to see that side of women. It's never happened to them before because they're always chasing, pursuing, usually doing way too much. And so in their cases, the women are just kind of going along with it. They don't really get to see a woman passionately, deeply in love and desiring them. I asked her on a date a week after to test her attraction levels, and yet again, she said she was busy with college work. He says, how can I resurrect this situation? Well, again, the quickest way to get somebody else's attention is to remove yours. And so as the book says, as 7 Principles to Get an X-Pack says, if you've asked on 2 separate consecutive occasions when you reach out to her and you want to see her and she says she's too busy and she won't make time, she doesn't mention anything about rescheduling, then at that point, just stop asking altogether. Don't call, don't text for any reason. And one of two things will happen. She'll either reach out and then try to set a date, or she'll stop contacting you. He says, I was thinking of pulling back and waiting for her to initiate a date. Is this the right move? Well, if you've reached out 2 weeks in a row and both times she tells you she's busy and hasn't mentioned anything about rescheduling, then never call or text her again for any reason. If she does reach out, try to set a date, and if she gives you the same I'm busy, then from that point forward, then I wouldn't mention, even when she does reach out, I wouldn't mention getting together until she brings it up. If she sends you a meme, just like it back. If she sends you a text, send 2 or 3 replies max back and forth, and say, hey, I got to run, talk to you later. And just leave the conversation. How would you treat her if you were tired of fucking her? Because that's basically how she's treating you. Like, she's tired of fucking you and she's bored of you. And therefore, she's not really that into it. So you never try to keep somebody that doesn't want to keep you. You got to match and mirror the action. And I know at this point, you're way more into her than she's into you. You're probably worried as hell about the fact you might never see her again and she might disappear from your life. And it's like playing a game of chicken. When you stop moving forward and you don't call, you don't text, and you're thinking days are going by and you're going, man, is she really just going to let me disappear from her life forever? Sometimes they do. And that shows you how bad things got. That shows you how low their feelings were. Again, you never try to keep somebody that doesn't want to keep you. Thanks for taking the time to read this. It's much appreciated. And by the way, your book is on the way to me, so hopefully next time I won't mess up so bad. Well, cool. But in the meantime, you can always read it in the members area of my website if you guys are the free subscribers. If you would like to subscribe to our paid members only content, where you get 6 additional paid members only video newsletters like this one per week, plus you get the 3% Man study group with the girls and myself, and then you also get Mastering Yourself study group, plus anytime we do viewer questions, you get the whole podcast with all of the questions instead of broken up into the individual questions like we release them on YouTube. And so if you're watching this video on YouTube, in the description below, there are links to subscribe on YouTube. You can also subscribe if you prefer to watch the videos, the members only content on Spotify. And if you would like to subscribe on my website and you pay the whole year in advance, you get a 25% discount. And obviously also with the website, you get all the email analysis on the blog on the website that obviously you can't get on YouTube or Spotify. But again, you can subscribe to the same content in all 3 places. But with my website, if you subscribe there, you get a 25% discount if you subscribe a whole year in advance. Plus, you get the email analysis with the video newsletters. Again, the links are under this video in the description. And if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com. Click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.